Hello folks, and welcome to the work of Northern Ireland Bird Photographers 2020. This presentation is normally made at our annual show in the Ulster Museum, but due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we have not been able to get together this year. This competition is run by the Northern Ireland Ornithologists Club, and its purpose is to showcase the work of bird photographers based in Northern Ireland. We apologise if the quality of the pics have been degraded a little in the process of compiling this video, but we thought it was important to let you see the breadth and quality of the work being produced by our photographers, and of course to hear the comments that our guest judge has made on each one. Our judge for this year was the renowned bird and wildlife photographer Jamie MacArthur from England. Jamie has travelled extensively throughout the world, photographing wildlife and birds in particular, and in February he came over to deliver the Sam Penny Memorial Lecture, when he shared some of his wonderful images and experiences with us. From hoopoes, rollers and bee-eaters in Europe, to golden eagles in Bulgaria, including some fantastic low-light images, then down to South Africa for the beautiful African crowned crane, mammals such as cheetah and lion, and showing that it doesn't always need to be international travel. He covered some local wildlife, including a red fox family, but the highlight for many of us will have been his close-up encounters with gorillas in Uganda. But moving on then to the competition, as we say, Jamie judged it in February, and as is our custom at the show, we will show a little of what he said about each image. Overall, the judge said that the standard has risen from the last time I judged a few years ago, with a lovely variety of species from home and abroad. Many of the shots were of a very high standard with little to choose between them. Once I had sorted the technically good shots, I picked those I would have loved to have taken. Just a few general points where things could be improved. Evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of your equipment and work within those limitations. You do not always need top-of-the-range equipment to take good shots. Be careful in cropping your photos. A good crop can make a significant difference to the overall impression of your photograph. If you have the opportunity, think carefully about your background and how it blends with the colours of the subject. There are 4 categories within the competition: junior, beginners, intermediate and advanced. And in addition, there's a special award for the judge's favourite image taken in Northern Ireland. Up to 3 images of birds may be submitted by each entrant in the junior, beginner and intermediate categories, and up to 6 images in the advanced. The photographs must have been taken by the entrant within the last 5 years. Only entries comprising 6 images in the advanced and 3 images in the junior, beginner and intermediate categories will be eligible in the portfolio sections. No photograph should have been taken at or near the nest. No more than 1 image of any species should be submitted. Images or any part thereof submitted in previous NIOC shows are not eligible, and only images of wild birds should be submitted. Images of domestic, feral or captive birds are not eligible for the competition. And so we move on to the competition for 2020. And the first category is the junior category, and our first photographer is Lucy Addis. And Lucy uses a Canon 1300D with a Tokina ATX AF 300 lens. Her first photograph of a puffin is taken from a boat at the Copelands, and the judge said, "The puffin shot against the light, the exposure's good, and a nice action shot." Lucy's second shot of a black-tailed godwit taken from the hide at RSPB Belfast, the judge said, "Nice low-down angle and catchlight in the eye, background nicely out of focus." Lucy's third shot is of a common tern taken at RSPB Portmore. Judge said the exposure was good, but a little lost in the frame, but a good idea. And that concludes our junior section. And so then we move on to the beginner section. And our first photographer in the beginner section is Martin McLenaghan. And Martin uses a Canon 760D with a Canon 100 to 400mm lens. And all three of his shots were taken from a boat in the Danube Delta. His first shot is of a cuckoo. The judge says this was an amazing shot of a cuckoo in flight. The exposure's good and it was well positioned in the frame. Martin's second shot is of a squacko heron. The judge says this is an excellent shot well positioned in the frame, showing the breeding plumage well. Martin's third shot of a redneck grebe. The judge said the horizon wasn't straight, but it was well exposed and was a good, competent shot. And that concludes the beginner section, and we now move on to the intermediate section. Our first photographer in the intermediate section is Albert Boyle, and Albert uses a Nikon D500 with a Sigma 100 to 400 lens. His first photograph, taken in County Dublin from a hide, is of a roseate tern. The judge said it's a beautiful tern, sharp, the plant in front is somewhat distracting, a nice head angle. The second shot is of a swallow taken from the hide at Oxford Island. The judge said it was an unusual shot, well exposed, good catch lights, pity about cutting off the tips of the tail. The third shot is of barnacle geese on Islay. The judge said this was a lovely trio, exposure really good, well framed, nice square format. Our next photographer is Peter Morgan, who uses a Canon 7D Mark II with a Canon 400mm lens. And his first photo of a black-headed gull taken at the hide at RSPB Belfast. Nice, down the barrel shot, good exposure and catch light, good focus in the eye, intense stare. His second photograph of a common tern taken at Kinnegar. Very good flight shot, good exposure, good with clouds in the background, very competent. And his final shot of an Eurasian coot taken in Belfast. Awe factor, good exposure, nice environmental shot, sharp and shows the habitat well. Our next photographer is Thomas Campbell, who uses a Nikon D500 with a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens. Thomas's first shot is of some Dunlin taken from the car at Myro levels. Judge said, lovely shot, good exposure and balance of wing beats, light a bit flat unfortunately. The second shot, also taken from the car, of a black-tailed godwit at Kinnigo Belfast. Very handsome black-tailed godwit, excellent angle and sharpness, down on the grass, powerful shot, a lot going for it. And the third shot, taken from Ballycarry Bridge, of a red-breasted merganser. Nice flight shot of male, good exposure and well positioned in frame, nice wing detail, light a little flat. Eileen O'Rourke is our next photographer, and she uses a Canon 80D with a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens. Her first photograph of a robin taken in Lough Neagh, the judge said, good exposure, set well in frame, competent shot of a cheeky garden bird. Her next shot is of a jay taken at Lough Neagh. Good sharp shot of a shy jay, bit tight in the frame, slight distraction of branch in top left. Her third shot taken on the Saltees, of a puffin, nice exposure and sharp, black difficult to expose, good sand eels. Our next photographer then is Robert McDowell. Robert uses a Canon 70D and a 500D with a 100 to 400mm lens. His first shot of a kestrel taken in Fuerteventura. A good, competent shot, a lovely blue sky, nice environmental shot, competent and straightforward. Robert's second shot is of a barn swallow taken in Spain. Nice shot of a common swallow, good wing stretch and natural perch. His third shot is of a Sardinian warbler, again taken in Spain. Good in the frame, competent shot of a shy bird, nice action shot, well exposed. Jonathan Rossborough is up next, and he uses a 7D Mark II with a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens. His first shot of Sanderling taken in McGilligan. This is a beautiful shot. Love the little droplet, excellent angle and exposure, fantastic, soft background, like it a lot. His next shot of snow bunting taken at Ramore Head, beautifully exposed, nice and sharp, lovely colours, really good shot. And his final shot of a reed bunting taken in Galgorm, County Antrim, good with prey, nice environmental shot, framed well with good catch light. Our next photographer is Mervyn Campbell, and Mervyn uses a D7200 with a Nikon 200 to 500 lens. Mervyn's first shot is of a sparrowhawk and a jackdaw taken in a hawhole, and the judge said this was a stunning shot with the big female sparrowhawk taking a jackdaw. Very impressive, exposed beautifully, very envious. Second shot, another beauty of a nuthatch, sympathetic background, beautifully exposed, balanced and well thought out classical pose. His third shot of a black-necked grebe taken in Alicante, lovely shot. I like the little reed to the right, gives perspective, nicely exposed and framed, nice light in the red eye. Next we move on to Mike McLaughlin's shots, and Mike uses a Canon 77D with a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens. This first shot was of a golden eye taken in Murloch. The judge said, incredible shot, water beautiful, very eye-catching, a brave shot, huge appeal, water beautiful. His second shot is of a rock kestrel taken at Elands Bay in South Africa. So hard to expose for, done really well, stripes and tails shown well against the pale sky. This final shot of a Salvin's albatross on Great Shearwater taken at Cape Point in South Africa. Nice competent shot, very fortunate to find an albatross. Our final competitor then in the intermediate section is Kevin Kirkham, and Kevin uses a Nikon D500 with a Tamron 150 to 600mm lens. His first shot, taken from a boat near the Copelands, is of a Manx shearwater. Judge said, nice action shot, good exposure on a grey day, nice water droplets. His next shot of a Sardinian warbler taken in Ria Formosa, good catch light, nice environmental shot, exposed well, well framed. And his final shot of a starling taken in Lisburn. The judge said this was a good, competent shot, nice close-up, lovely breeding plumage, well done. And that concludes our intermediate section of the competition. And so we move on to the advanced section of the work of Northern Ireland bird photographers of 2020. And our first photographer in the advanced section is Guy Hamilton. And Guy uses a 7D, Canon 7D with a Canon 100 to 400mm lens. His first photograph taken using stalking is of Bartail Godwits in the North Bull in Dublin. The judge said this was a nice group shot with good lighting and was sharp. The second photograph is of a black guillemot taken in Rathlin Island. Judge said this was a nice shot, it's always hard to expose black and white, and a good aspect. The guy's third shot is of a Dunlin taken at Whitehead. Judge said that the highlights had been a bit burned and possibly a polarizer might have helped. It is sharp, and cropping might have helped a little. The next shot of a robin taken in Lurgan Park, nicely captured of the bird singing, exposed correctly, a lovely environmental shot. Guys, fifth shot of a redshank taken at Whitehead was sharp, showed a good catch light in the eye, the exposure was good, a good shot, beautifully executed. And his final shot, also at Whitehead, of a ring plover. The whites are better controlled in this shot, it's sharp, and it's a cute bird. Our second photographer in this section is Philip Blair, and Philip uses a Nikon D750 with a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens. His first shot of a bullfinch taken in County Tyrone, judge said this was a great shot, beautifully sharp, the left side's a bit distracting, good catch light in the eye, nice shot. The second shot of a buzzard taken from his car in County Tyrone, nice to get a landing shot, good exposure, sharp, a good range of tones, a lower angle would have helped. Then a shot of a goldfinch taken in County Tyrone, beautiful lighting, lovely low angle, good composition and complementary background, sharp, well executed. His next shot taken from a hide of a jay in County Tyrone, tightly framed but bird very quick, beautifully done, lovely shot in many ways, sharp throughout. His next shot using fieldcraft of a kingfisher in County Tyrone, this is pin sharp, a stunning bird, lighting lovely, a confident shot, and all positioned well positioned with an over shoulder look. The sparrowhawk from a hide in County Tyrone, a stunning shot, well composed in thirds, good yellow in the eyes, beautiful diffuse lighting, a smashing shot. Next up is Johnny Andrews, and Johnny uses a Nikon D500 and D7200 with a Nikon 200 to 500mm lens. His first shot of a waxwing taken on the roadside at Ballymoney, the judge said, beautiful birds, nice to get them eating berries, branches in front a little distracting, weight a little possibly, nice and sharp front to back and a good catch light. Second shot of a little egret in Strangford Lough, judge said, beautiful, well done, exposure beautiful, good action, water and reflection, composition good. His third shot of a goldcrest taken in Cumber, excellent, these little birds don't sit still for long, well captured, remarkably sharp front to back, very good, beautiful. Next we have redshank taken in Strangford Lough, judge said, typical redshank shot, all in focus, nice shot, possible panoramic crop would have helped. Then we have a ring plover taken on Rathlin. The judge said, beautiful, very, very good, lovely low angle, bird's eye level, obviously the shore works well, composition and lighting. Johnny's final shot is a kingfisher in Cumber, County Down. The judge said, kingfishers always look well, razor sharp, everything about it good, light on head and eye, nice water pattern, lovely. The next photographer is Stuarty McQueen, and Stuarty uses a Canon 7D Mark II with a Canon 100 to 400mm lens. His first shot is of a red-headed barbet taken in Costa Rica. Judge said, really good shot, very good job, sharp, tail to beak, good in frame, all good. His second shot is of a broad-billed motmot, also in Costa Rica. Very good shot, a little bright in the background, done well to see it, let alone photograph it. Quite tight, but very acceptable. His third shot is of a white-necked Jacobin, and the judge said this has been done with flash, 65 wing beats per second, a very interesting shot, a little tight in the frame, distracted a little by brightness and tail, movement tremendous. Stuart's next shot is of a Pacific screech owl, also in Costa Rica. The judge said it was a nice sharp shot, good composition, good contrast between the background and foreground, pin sharp, very competent. His fifth shot of a bee-eater taken in Majorca, lovely wing and tail stretch, a little grainy with low light, sharp, good composition, complementary background. Stuart's final shot is of an emerald toucanet in Costa Rica. The judge liked the square format, the good perspective, said it was a cheeky wee bird and hard to see. Unfortunately, a little grainy from a high ISO, but interesting catch light. Richard Smith is our next photographer. Richard uses a Nikon D850 with a Nikon 500mm or Nikon 80 to 400mm lens. His first shot, taken from a hide in Valencia in Spain, is of a Benelli's eagle. The judge said, excellent exposure, nice stance, beautiful light, good background shows the environment, a very competent shot. His next shot of kestrels, again in Valencia, good to get both sexes together, post a little dominant for kestrels, good interaction, nice and sharp. Richard's next shot is of a lammergeier in Aragon in Spain. The judge said that he had done well against the Mediterranean sky, a good bird to get, good exposure and sharp. His next shot of griffon vultures in Aragon in Spain, nice getting two together, good environmental shot, nice to see the colour camouflage. His next shot then is of a talamanca in Costa Rica. This is beautifully sharp, background a little bright, a very good shot in very difficult conditions. Beautifully done. His final shots of a barred antshrike, again in Costa Rica. A beautiful bird, well executed, sharp nose to tail, good composition, nice balance. Our next photographer then is David Hill. And David uses a Sony A77 with a 70 to 400mm lens. His first shot is of a great crested grebe on the River Yare in Norfolk. Good shot, nice lighting, shows the winter plumage, white's not blown, competent shot. His next shot's of a wheatear at Balls Point in County Londonderry. Fortunate to get two together, good background, well done, unusual. His next shot of a whitethroat at Carrick-a-Reed. Shame no catchlight in the eye, not bad at all, good clean background, consider cropping a little. His next shot is of a marsh tit in Scunthorpe Fen in Norfolk. Eye not quite sharp, good to get so close, tail out of focus, nice complementary background. Next one's a stone chat at Myro Levels, beautiful shot, good environmental shot, could crop a little tighter on the left, out of focus reed. Finally, his willow warbler in Inch in County Donegal, nice action shot, good to get the wings out, good in frame, good exposure, shame no catchlight in the eye. Our next photographer is William Smighton, and William uses a Canon 7D Mark II with a Canon 100 to 400mm lens. His first shot taken at Woe in Belfast from the hide is of a black-tailed godwit, well caught, cropping might have helped, good exposure in underwing, good action shot, beautiful plumage. His next shot from Romania of a black tern. Judd said beautifully captured, a nice catchlight in the eye with the dragonfly larva, a little tight in the frame but nice diagonal pose makes it a powerful shot. The next shot is of an Abyssinian roller taken in the Gambia. Good highlight in the eye, I like the negative space, good to have the bird looking into the frame. The space works well here, nice shot. His next shot of a rock pipit in Inishtrahal. Beautiful shot of a rock pipit on a rock. Nice lichen, typical pose. Whole composition of bird and background, very good. William's next shot is of a great white egret in Romania. White on white is very difficult. Done well. Lovely action shot, not easy. His next shot then is of a cuckoo, also in Romania. Amazingly well captured. Sharp. Shows movement in wings, spot on exposure and position in frame. Very good. Our next photographer then is Noni Briers. Noni uses a Panasonic DMC FZ200. Her first photo is of a marabou stork taken in Zambia. A nice action shot showing a complementary blacksmith plover. Quality low, good to get close. Check settings, some artifacts showing. Her next shot is of a red-billed hornbill in Botswana. A nice idea, interesting composition, better in colour. She then has a southern carmine bee-eater in Botswana. A beautiful bird, sharp, good pose on a rock, lighting and exposure difficult, fighting a bit with the background. Our next shot's of a northern black Karan in Botswana. A nice bird to get, beautiful exposure, lacks a little sharpness in the eye. Our next shot is of a corncrake in Inishowen off County Clare. Very hard to get, quality suffers a little with cropping. And our final shot's of a black-tailed godwit at Woe in Belfast. A good close-up, but facing away and blending too much into the background. Better to get at eye level. Next up is Leslie Barker, who uses a Nikon D7200 with a Tamron 150 to 600mm lens. Her first shot is of a puffin in the Farne Islands. Judge said this is very, very good. They fly like torpedoes. Good exposure against the sky. Better flying into the frame a little more. Crop a little from the top. Her second shot is of a bullfinch taken on a hide in Newcastle upon Tyne. A good sharp shot in terrible light conditions with rain, but you've certainly made the best of it. Very good. Nothing hiding the bird. Next is a kingfisher from a hide in Worcester. A very competent shot, but more cropping would have helped. Next shot is of a little grebe taken in Newton Nards. A beautiful backlit shot, great action shot, like it a lot, of a shy bird, water droplets and features in face well shown. Leslie's next shot is of a mute swan in Newton Nards. Another beautiful shot, bill not as sharp as I would have liked. Although tight in the frame, it works. Love the lighting, a wonderful, unusual shot. Our final shot is of an osprey at Rutland. Good focus on the eye, the face and the fish. A bit tight in the frame. The whites have been a little bit burned, slightly overexposed. Nearly excellent. Our next photographer is Lynn Hughes, and Lynn uses a Nikon D500 with the Sigma 50 to 500mm lens. Her first photograph was taken at Portmore Loch and is of a reed bunting. The judge said, nicely done, good detail in the black head, sharp front to back and well composed. Lynn's next shot is of razorbills off Rathlin Island. The judge said that this was cropped well, beautifully exposed. Sometimes 1 or 3 birds works better than 2, but this has been well done. Also off Rathlin Island, the judge said that Lynn's shot of the gannet showed good detail. The whites were fine, although it was a little grainy. A good sharp flight shot showing good detail. Lynn moved to Lough Neagh for her next 3 shots. First, the family of great crested grebe. Judge said it was nice to get young chicks, but a lower angle would have been better. Exposure good. Her baby coot, a very cute shot, giving the awe factor, a nice competent shot of the chick. And finally, the robin, a good shot of a cocky robin. Exposure's good, lovely shot, well composed. Our next photographer is Gary Wilkinson, and Gary uses a Canon 5D Mark IV and a Canon 100 to 400mm lens. Gary's first shot is of a northern pygmy owl taken in Romania. The judge said that this was a very competent shot, showing good exposure and the yellow eye. The branch at the right hand side is a little distracting. His second shot of griffon vultures in Spain. Judge said this was a nice idea, looking good, but only one bird looking at the camera. Nicely done, an interesting shot. Gary's next shot is of a white-rumped sandpiper at my row levels. Judge said that it was a very nice bird to get. It was sharp, showed good detail, but the wingtip was a little close to the edge of the frame. His next shot of a great northern diver was a good record shot, showing nice catch light and good exposure, a very competent shot. Gary went to Coromany in Scotland for his photo of the black grouse. Judge said it was a great action shot of 2 birds, one in the air, both sharp, difficult low light to deal with, well cropped with the blue hues nicely visible. Like this a lot. Gary's final shot, taken in Tullymore, of a dipper, the judge said, "Good thinking, shows the environment well, but the bird a little too small in the picture, more a landscape shot than a bird shot, but very nice." Our next photographer is John Parkinson, who uses a Canon 7D Mark II with a Canon 100 to 400mm Mark II. John's first shot, taken in Portmarnock in Ireland, is of a hooded crow. The judge liked a lot about this photograph: the angle, it was sharp, the catch light, the apple helps with the colour of the picture, and the added dimension of being at eye level makes a huge difference. John's next shot is of a red whiskered bulbul taken in Hong Kong. The judge said that this is a noisy bird, nice palm leaf. The front bird is sharp, would be nicer to have both of them looking this way, but a good bird to get. His next shot was of a greater cuckoo, again in Hong Kong. Big birds, very, very good shot. Beautiful detail, nicely framed. This is a parasitic nester and is a lovely shot. Next we have a goldcrest taken at the River Braid in Brashane. A lovely shot of a flighty bird, sharp detail, doing what a goldcrest does. The colour of moss complements the crest. Then some mallard in Strangford Lough. Both birds are sharp, well synchronised, very well executed. You can't beat a bit of luck. And finally, an Asian glossy starling taken in Malaysia. An interesting shot, good exposure, good background, but branch dominates. Crop a little of the branch out. Our next photographer is Nigel Moore, and Nigel uses a Canon 1DX with a 100 to 400mm lens and also a Canon 500mm with a 1.4 extender. Nigel's first shot of a kingfisher taken in Scotland, the judge said this was a beauty with water droplet, pin sharp, catch light and fish. It's got everything that you would want. A juvenile bird, very good. Nigel's second shot of a black wheatear taken in Alicante, the judge said this was a beauty, a cracker. A very timid bird on a natural perch. Lovely background, pin sharp, alert. I like it a lot. His third shot of a golden plover taken at Saxford and Unst. A good angle and exposure with light on the face and detail on the black and white. Great detail. Nice shot. Next we have a Shetland wren taken at Grootness in Shetland. A cracking wee bird with good rich colour, excellent lighting, nice blending background, but unfortunately tail not quite sharp. Nigel's fifth shot is of a Slavonian grebe taken in Strathpeffer. Judge said, a very good shot of a bird in full breeding plumage. Very handsome bird, well executed. If you sit and be patient, these birds will approach you. Nigel's final shot is of black grouse in Coromany. The judge said this was a great action shot, showing the frenzy of the lek. Eye level, side on, sharp, excellent lighting showing the blues and greens in the plumage. A wonderful shot. Now we move on to Russell Birch's entry, and Russell uses a Nikon D7000 with a Tamron 100 to 600mm lens. His first shot was taken in Belfast and is of a blackbird. The judge said this was a nice Christmas shot, well spotted and well executed. He would like to have seen the feet of the bird. It's a very unique shot. Russell's second shot is of a mute swan taken in Mount Stewart. Judge says this was a nice family shot. Unfortunately, the light was very harsh and the two cygnets in the middle are not in focus. His next shot is of grey-leg geese in Castle Espy. A pleasing, happy family shot. Nice close-up of the local geese. His next shot was of a gadwall at Belfast Harbour Reserve. A well captured shot, but possibly due to it being a high crop, it is very grainy. Russell's fifth shot was of a goldfinch taken at Woe. The judge felt, although this was a nice goldfinch and the exposure was good, it was grainy, too near the top and tight in the frame and not a strong composition. And his final shot of a grey wagtail taken at Mount Usher. Judge said it was nice to see courtship feeding. The quality lets it down a little, being grainy. Our next photographer is Martin Lamb, and Martin uses a Nikon D7100 with a Nikon 80 to 400 600mm AFS lens, and his first shot is taken from a boat in the Danube Delta and it's of a squacko heron. The judge said, "Nice eye-level shot, sharp, good composition, pristine bleeding plumage, not a lot wrong, nice squacko heron shot." His second of a black red start in Spain, nice to get the wings out, good action shots, a little too much stone in the picture, take a third off the bottom, good exposure, especially of the wings. Martin's third shot is of a tawny pipit in Spain. The judge said, "These are fascinating birds and this is a lovely shot, but admiring the view. Very competent with a nice catch light." Martin's fourth shot is of a stonechat in Roskilde in Donegal. The judge said it was good to have the bird with prey and the wings out on the thirds. Complementary background, well composed, a nice shot and sharp enough. His fifth shot is of a starling in his garden in Dunmurry, and the judge said it's not often you get a starling in competitions. This is really good, sharp, beautiful shot, an excellent job, as good a starling as he's seen. Exposure's very good, well composed. Martin's final shot is of a little egret in Dundrum. The judge said this was a lovely shot, giving a nice reflection of a bird feeding. The exposure was excellent and it's a lovely environmental shot. Our final photographer is Robert Sargent, and Robert uses a Nikon D750 with a Tamron 150 to 600mm lens. His first shot is of a puffin in the Saltee Islands. The judge said this was an idyllic puffin shot, well exposed, just right with thrift, well balanced and composed, very, very good. His second shot, also in the Saltees, this time of a guillemot, shot through the crowd, really well picked out. The shadow's a little distracting, but there's good eye detail. His third shot of a curlew on Bull Island. This is beautiful. Excellent lighting, pin sharp, in the typical environment for the bird. Robert's next shot is of a stonechat on Bull Island. The judge said the lighting was beautiful in this shot. The size, the composition and the cropping were all good. The bird is slightly looking away and would be better looking towards the camera, but that's picking hairs. Robert's fifth shot is of a great crested grebe at Oxford Island. The judge said that the water looked amazing, the composition and exposure were correct, it was a beautiful shot. He would have preferred it to be more at eye level, but that might lose the water effect. His final shot is of a wren taken in Cumber. The judge says that wrens are very photogenic, the composition is very good, the shot is sharp, but the reed at the right hand side is slightly distracting. And that concludes our advanced entries. And so we move to the results of the winning images for 2020. And first of all, we go to the junior category, and in third place we have Lucy Addis with her shot of the black-tailed godwit. In second place is Lucy Addis's shot of the terns, and the winner of the junior category is Lucy Addis with her shot of the puffin taken from the boat round the Copeland Islands. And so Lucy receives the Terry Lee Memorial Cup from the chairman of the photographic subcommittee, Sandy McWilliams. Moving on to the beginners category then, in third place was Martin McClenahan's picture of the redneck grebes taken in the Danube Delta. In second place was Martin McClenahan's picture of the squacko heron in breeding plumage, also taken in the Danube Delta. And the winner of the beginners competition was Martin McClenahan's shot of the cuckoo in flight, also in the Danube Delta. And so Martin receives the Simon McIlreevy Salver from Chairman Sandy McWilliams. And it's not hard to guess that the winning portfolio in the beginners category went to Martin McLenaghan for his pictures of the cuckoo in flight, the squacko heron in full breeding plumage, and the redneck grebe, all taken in the Danube Delta. Well done, Martin. And so Martin receives the Tom Ennis Cup from the president of the NIOC, Mr. Tom Ennis, for the winning portfolio. And now on to the awards for the intermediate category. And commended we have Mike McLaughlin for his shot of the rock kestrel. Also commended we have Mike McLaughlin and his shot of the golden eye. And the third commended photo went to Mervyn Campbell's shot of the nuthatch. In highly commended then, we have Thomas Campbell's shot of the black-tailed godwit. In third place, Jonathan Rossborough's photo of the snow bunting. Then in second place, also from Jonathan Rossborough, this time his shot of the sanderling. But our winning image went to Mervyn Campbell's tremendous shot of the sparrowhawk taking the jackdaw. And Mervyn receives the C. Douglas Dean tankard from our chairman, Sandy McWilliams, for that winning shot. In the portfolio section for the intermediates, in third place went to Mike McLaughlin with his shots of the golden eye, the rock kestrel, and the albatross. The runner-up in the portfolio was Jonathan Rossborough with his trio of the sanderling, snow bunting, and reed bunting. The judge awarded the winning portfolio in the intermediate section to Mervyn Campbell's sparrowhawk with the jackdaw, nuthatch, and black-necked grebe. Congratulations to Mervyn and all the competitors in the intermediate section. And Mervyn gets the Martin McCurry Salver from Sandy McWilliams for that portfolio. And so to the prize-winning images in the advanced category. Firstly, commended, we have Johnny Andrews' shot of the ringed plover. Also commended is John Parkinson's shot of the hooded crow. Also taking a commended award was Nigel Moore's shot of the kingfisher. Also commended was Martin Lamb's shot of the starling. Another commendation went to Nigel Moore for his shot of the black wheatear. And the last of our commended shots went to Johnny Andrews' photograph of the little egret. A highly commended award went to William Smighton's shot of the black tern. In third place then was Nigel Moore with his shot of the black grouse. In second place was Philip Blair's sparrowhawk. And the winning image for 2020 went to Robert Sargent for his puffin image taken on the Saltees. So Sandy McWilliams presents Robert with the brown jug for the winning image in the advanced section. In the portfolio section, third place went to Robert Sargent for his portfolio of the puffin, the guillemot, curlew, stonechat, great crested grebe, and wren. Second place in the portfolio section went to Leslie Barker for her portfolio of puffin, bullfinch, kingfisher, little grebe, mute swan, and osprey. But the winning portfolio went to Nigel Moore for his shots of kingfisher, black wheatear, golden plover, Shetland wren, Slavonian grebe, and black grouse. And so Nigel receives the Arthur Hobson Salver for the winning advanced portfolio. And the winner of the judge's favourite image taken in Northern Ireland was Mervyn Campbell for his fantastic image of the sparrowhawk taking down the jackdaw. And Mervyn receives the John Gould Cup from Chairman Sandy McWilliams for that award. And so, with hearty congratulations to all our prize winners, and thanks to all our participants for sharing their images with us, we look forward to next year's competition and leave you with Robert Sargent's study of a puffin on the Saltee Islands.